Hi everyone and welcome back to the 250 bird challenge. Although is it still, because we broke 250 birds, we're at 251 now. But anyway, we're carrying on this year. We're currently at Tommy Thompson Park and we're meeting a friend of mine from social media is where we met. Her name is Nancy. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a moment. Okay everyone, we're all here. Hi Nancy. Nancy and I have been kind of following each other on social media for a while. She's quite into birds and I offered for her to join us on this morning. She's also into baking. I'm going to show some pictures of your baking, if that's okay with you, from her Instagram. Stay tuned guys, we're going to see if we can find any new birds at Tommy Thompson Park. We think we have some tundra swans here. And beside them some trumpeter swans, which helps us kind of identify them. Where the beak joins the head, it's kind of a U-shaped join between the white and the black. Whereas if I move the camera over here and you don't get seasick, we have some trumpeter swans here. They're also larger. And where the beak joins the head, you can just see that it's more of a V shape.
Another field marking to separate the tundra swan from the trumpeter swan is yellow coloration at the lores, just ahead of the eye. But as in this individual, the yellow is not always present. As per the name, they breed in northern tundra, and they winter in rivers, ponds and lakes, including Lake Ontario. They can also be found foraging in agricultural fields. The tundra swan used to be called the whistling swan, but that's outdated now. In Europe, there is a swan called the Buick's swan, Cygnus columbianus buicki. This is a subspecies of the tundra swan, Cygnus columbianus, and those in North America are known by the scientific name Cygnus columbianus columbianus. The Buick's swan will typically have much more yellow visible around the upper side of the bill.
Quite disconcertingly quiet when we first got here, but of course, as you might expect at this time of year, as soon as we got near to the water, lots of ducks around.
We've already seen all of the ducks we are likely to see in southern Ontario, but it was nice to see a variety of species from the long-tailed ducks to these buffleheads. There were also golden-eye out on the water, some green-winged teal, and distant views of a pied-bill grebe, the background overexposed here, so details of the bird show better.
So Nancy, how long have you been baking for?
8-9 years.
And sometimes you do it competitively too, right?
I do.
Yeah, what kind of competitions have you been entering into?
Only pie.
Yeah, pies are your specialty?
Yes, it is. I'm very good at crust.
And you're entering one soon, right?
In the end of April in America, the KCRW pie competition. I've actually even emailed the head of that competition saying when are the exact dates so I could book my flight and my hotel accommodations, or I shouldn't say my Airbnb accommodations, because I need an oven to obviously bake.
Right. And can you give us a kind of clue as to what you might be doing in that competition?
I will be entering 3 categories, and one of them's a custardy type of category, and it will have rhubarb in it, that one.
That sounds right up my British palate.
Yes.
A custard and rhubarb pie.
I adore rhubarb as well. And I'll be entering not a vegetarian, but a non-fruit one, or I should say a savory pie, and I'm also entering a fruit pie, which is going to be an apple pie. So I'll be entering 3 pies, but I will be entering 5 categories, because even if you enter 1 pie, you're entered in 3 categories for best crust and also best in show.
Awesome.
So I'll be technically entering 5 categories, even though I entered 3 pies.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're on Instagram too, so
I am.
You're Fat Nancy, PHAT Nancy
Yes.
on Instagram. So
Yeah.
if anybody wants to follow along and see some of the pictures of some of the things that Nancy has baked, then please do so.
Yeah, and also if you have any baking questions, I know this is a birding thing, but if you have any baking questions, please feel free to message me.
We continued to look around the bays and peninsulas of Tommy Thompson Park because a black-bellied plover and a black scotter were both recently seen there. But we'll come back in a moment to Tommy Thompson Park. First, I just want to cut away for a moment. The previous weekend we heard reports of a rare bird and we tried to track it down.
We interrupt this programme. I received an email alert a few hours ago to say that a Dickcissel has been spotted at Evergreen Brickworks. Fairly rare for this area, normally found in the prairies. We're going to see if we can find it at the bird feeders, apparently, just outside of the parking lot. That's where we are now. Let's go take a look.
I guess we found the spot.
When we arrived, there was no Dickcissel, just lots of house sparrows, goldfinch and some pine siskins, but it did eventually come back, and it was reasonably showy. The Dickcissel is a pretty abundant bird in its more natural habitat, the prairie grasslands of North America, though the population and distribution can vary depending on nesting and breeding conditions. Due to habitat destruction in favour of urbanisation and agriculture, like a lot of grassland species, their population is in decline. While some species like the Dickcissel are able to adapt and otherwise thrive in hayfields and some other cultivated fields, their nests are unfortunately destroyed by harvesting and mowing. This individual is a juvenile with muted colours showing some yellow and white patterning among its otherwise dark brown back and wings. But the males are more brightly patterned with a yellow supercilium, a stripe from the beak to above the eye, white chin and a bright yellow breast. Cool, fairly rare bird for us to add to our list. Now let's head back to Tommy Thompson Park. We never did see the black-bellied plover or black scotter, but a couple of cool mammals. First a muskrat,
in its face.
and then we were fortunate enough to watch an American mink foraging.
Is that a musk?
Mink.
Mink, yeah. I've never seen one like.
That's my best view of a mink. We're pretty lucky to get that.
It's interesting how wildlife has thrived in this area where it's been. That's just, I find so fascinating.
As we were leaving Tommy Thompson Park, Nancy added some of the species we'd seen to the sightings board at the Nature Centre. Then we made our way home. This video doesn't end there though, stay tuned because over the last few days we've made a few more stops. On the 19th of November we paid a visit to Colonel Sam Smith Park in pursuit of a brant goose which had been seen a few days earlier. Beautiful morning, but all we really saw were a ton of American robins. And a yellow-rumped warbler that was either late to migrate or may perhaps attempt to overwinter.
Yellow rump.
Despite looking out over the lake, we just saw Canada geese. So we moved on to check out Risa Pond in Markham for reports of a cackling goose. The cackling goose looks a great deal like a smaller Canada goose. Well, there were tens of dozens of Canada geese. We couldn't discern a cackling goose, but if any of my expert viewers can see one, please let me know in the comments. We then went on to Grand Cornell Park, also in Markham, after reports of a snow goose. No joy there either. Okay, fast forward a few days and back to Sam Smith Park. Big rare bird alert. Sometimes I feel like I need a siren and flashing lights on my car. Meemaw, meemaw, rare bird alert.
Good morning everyone, it is now Sunday the 26th of November and we have hot-tailed it to Colonel Sam Smith Park. Been here a few times in the last couple of weeks, but we're back again. Just a brief stop. There is a fairly rare bird here, a Red Phalarope. We're going to see if we can track that down and show it to you guys and get us an extra bird, so stay tuned for a while we'll make our way to that spot. It's extraordinarily rare to see this Red Phalarope inland away from the coast. They generally migrate from their wintering grounds off the west coast of Africa and probably also near the Gulf of Mexico. The route they take is well offshore of the eastern seaboard, west of Newfoundland and up the Davis Strait between Arctic Canada and Greenland. Some may take a shortcut up through the Great Lakes, but it is unusual for them to have a stopover. There are no previous recorded sightings at Colonel Sam Smith Park, and only a smattering of other land-based sightings at Tommy Thompson Park and in Durham region. This individual is in winter plumage. In breeding plumage they are chestnut red with black heads and white cheek patches. Their beak is a bold yellow colour tipped in black. Much of the time this bird was circling around the rocks on the shore, feeding on invertebrates, their primary food source. Okay, so we saw the phalarope. That's a pretty rare bird for this area. It's a lifer for me and Sara. It's also a new bird for the year. Unfortunately, I did have to leave a bit sooner than I wanted to. I'd like to have gotten a bit of a closer shot, but at least we saw it. Unfortunately, a rare bird like that, it can bring out the worst behaviour in some people. Most people, especially those that I interact with on this channel, are very kind, but you do get the odd bit of roguish behaviour, and I did end up leaving after I was shoved out of the way by someone. Unfortunately, I do see that kind of competitive behaviour happening more in the Toronto area. That's unfortunate, but like I say, most people are kind, so I like to try and keep things positive, so people, please be kind, let's put the birds first, yeah? Anyway, on that bombshell, I think that brings us to the end of this video, but we'll have something else coming for you soon. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed already, really appreciate it if you'd hit that red subscribe button. Thank you all for watching to the end. Happy birding.